Grandpa's got his fruit juice. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Blathering Live. Episode 223, I think. Waiting for everyone to get in here. Come on in. Live stream notifications going out. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. A lot to get to tonight. But I have none of it planned. No list segment tonight. I have a lot of fun doing the list segment. Thanks for those who've supported it coming back. I forgot. About 4:40, I was like, I should have written one of those. But anyways, on the show tonight, is MTV actually dead? I mean, you can make your jokes. It's been dead for a while. But I want to talk about that and that concept, too. Pass through a little bit of the Portland Frogs, the Portland Frog Brigade. My algorithm on iTunes. My algorithm on Instagram. iTunes doesn't even really exist anymore, much like MTV. My algorithm on Instagram is mostly just horrific ICE footage of them arresting people or pushing back protesters, and then the Portland Frog. And a dancer called Kasha Campbell, who just, she's fun to watch. She brings joy to the world. I don't know. It's a weird algorithm right now for me. We're also got a big update from George R. R. Martin. He claims he's not dying ever. Also, a lot of calls. We, though, are not going to bury the lead. We're not going to bury the lead. I'll tell you why we're not going to bury the lead. Because look who we got here. Hey, producer Steve, I didn't expect this, buddy. You just showed up here. And he never left. Never left.
Hey, everybody. I'm back. Yeah, we had a soft launch Saturday. It was a lot of fun. Silly Saturday, as always.
You called in the Force Center, too?
Yeah. That was fun. That was just a really just kind of spur of the moment. Just was feeling Star Warsy on a Friday afternoon, little happy hour action for Force Center. It was great. So thank you for having me, as always. But yeah, I am fresh off of changing a diaper about 5 minutes ago. Sat down, poured a beer. Mommy is on baby duty for the next 2 hours. I'm off the clock. I'm all yours, folks.
Hey, you watch the kid. I got some internet to do. Man, and Will McLean coming in hot. He's coming in hot with a capital H and an A and a W in the middle of it. He said the Eagles are imploding and Steve is back. Are you back now to turn the tide for the Eagles? Is that what it is?
Yes, I am Gandalf on the sixth day at dawn. Look to the east. I'm hoping the Vikings are that get right game.
Yeah,
fifth day, whatever it is. Yeah, sure. Sorry. When they win the Super Bowl, you get to make those kind of mistakes. So I'm hoping that the Vikings are that get right game for the Eagles before we get revenge on Anakin Skywalker and the New York Giants, Jackson Dart. So we will see. We'll see what we can do. I still have hope. Nick Sirianni and the offensive coordinator, Kevin Petullo, had a come to Jesus meeting, apparently. So we will no, apparently it was like a kumbaya, like we're all good now. We're going to, throw the ball to AJ Brown kind of meeting. So we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe I'll win a fantasy game.
Don't get ahead of yourself. But,
I'm 0-6.
Easy.
My first go around with fantasy football in about 15 years, and I have the worst team in the Blathering Fantasy Football League. But that's what you get when you're drafting day drunk in Vegas and you pick the Eagles defense fifth, and they gave you 1 point. Sean Rooms here. Sean Rooms says, can't wait long, but thank you for giving my frog some love. Sean knows Portland well. I wanted to take a call quickly here from Brendan because he had a belated birthday. He had a birthday last week, and we want to do a belated celebration. And he couldn't stick around the last time. I was trying to get him on the call, but I ramble up top. It's called the Blathering. It's in the advertising. It's on the billboard. I love the Portland Frogs, and I love the Portland Frog. There was I don't even know the real kid's name, and I got to be honest, I don't want to know at this point. Let the legend live on. Let there be many frogs, Steve. Let there, for protests from now to the end of days, always be a frog.
Anyone from Portland, it should be like the kids, like it kind of like those things that people are like, oh, I saw Sinatra in Vegas, or I saw this thing where there's only like one. If anyone can, if they were from Portland, can forever say I was one of the Portland Frogs, and I'm just not gonna question it. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. My uncle saw Elvis in Vegas perform like 1970. He would tell the story before he passed away. Here's though, there was an interview. I just want to highlight this, and then we'll get to some calls. And thank you, Sean, for checking in. And yeah, showing the Portland love. I come out here day in and day out. He was asked by a reporter, "Why do you come out here?" And he said, "I come here day in and day out since June because I'm worried about my community. I'm concerned with what is happening in my community. I don't want to see anybody treated inhumanely. And to see this happen to my community members, my friends, my family, my neighbors, it's unacceptable. So I'm out here protesting in a frog costume, especially in a frog costume, just to show how ridiculous the notion that we are violent terrorists is. It's just to showcase how the narrative is wrong, and it does a lot more damage than good." Great quote. There's also more. That was the first one, and now there's the Portland Frog Brigade. Yeah, going down the rabbit hole on a lot of stuff going out there in Chicago and out there in Portland. It's maddening. It is just a brute squad with a lot of misplaced confidence and a lot of misplaced rage. And that's not even getting into the issues. And I'm not even here for a conversation about due process and other things. It's just barbaric and it's maddening. And I don't want the humor of the frogs to bury that, Steve. But I think the frogs and the humor of the frogs and the image of a dancing frog just being pepperballed, or the image of an ICE agent reaching around to the frog's ass to spray. If you saw that clip. I do think it's so ludicrous.
What are you accomplishing there?
Yeah, and it's. Did you see the clip? Have you seen the clip?
No.
The frog's doing the frog thing, and it's getting kind of chaotic, and there's a little scrum going on, and like a federal agent reaches around and like has like a can and like sprays his ass. Maybe thinking there's a hole there, like maybe he thought it was an actual frog, and maybe there was a exhaust hole to get to the guy.
Yeah, he's trying to get the proton torpedo down the exhaust port. I think the frog costume is actually low-key really good against the riot gear and everything, especially the paintballs, because those inflatable costumes, they're just going to bounce right off, man. Like, they're like wearing Iron Man armor.
But, Steve, I'm going to be tending a No Kings rally point on Saturday. I'm hoping when I get there, because, I'm out of work, I hope when I get there, I get my protest check.
Yeah, same. I'm still wondering where my protest check is from the last No Kick, because I was at the one a few months ago, and I heard all over and saw all over today on both Fox News and all sorts of different right wing media that I think it was one of the former road rules of Real World Stars that's running our government was talking about how the No Kings protests are being paid by Antifa and George Soros. I don't know which one, or maybe
I think it was Sean Duffy.
Source. Oh, Duffy. Okay. So I don't know if Soros is funding Antifa or if Antifa has their own pocket of money that's not Soros funded. I don't know. I just, as long as the check clears, I don't care. Like, I don't know if maybe mine got lost in the mail or something, but I was there. I put in at least 2-3 good hours. And as far as paid protester money goes, that's at least, we have to at least be making minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that's a $60 day. I've been waiting. Okay. I'm waiting on it.
I'll take it.
It's so funny when you have to kind of, there's the fact that The Miz is not the worst MTV Road Rules Real World human in the world. By the way, I've been a fan of Miz as a wrestler for a while. But the fact that it's fucking Sean Duffy comes out of left field to be just this idiot in the public.
At least get like Johnny Bananas or someone from like The Challenge who's like accomplished. You know what I mean? Like someone with some juice, not Duffy. Like, Anyway.
Anyways, let's take a quick call here because I felt bad last time out. It was closer to his birthday, and I was like, yay! And then I rambled, and he had to go. Brennan Mystical Mar, checking in here. Brennan, happy belated birthday, my friend.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, how did you celebrate? How did it go? I saw some photos, maybe a family gathering.
Lots of family, yep. Running around. It was pretty crazy at our house.
That's good, though. That's a good party.
Yep. And, nothing too crazy, just gathering a family and all that.
Good. How many birthday shots did you do, Brendan?
Well,
how many buzz balls?
I don't drink, so I guess.
This could have been it. Brendan, 40th birthday. That's huge. It's important. You could have buzzballed out. It would have been I would have cheered you on, which is why I probably wouldn't be allowed at the party.
Yeah, and thank you, of course, for the video you sent.
Of course, your mother reached out and hopefully it was a surprise. Hopefully you didn't see him coming, but was able to get some folks.
He was up to something. I figured that.
Yep. Yep. Well, what's on your mind, and can you give us some sage birthday advice, Brennan?
Let's see, sage birthday advice. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thank you, Addie.
Happy birthday, Brennan.
Sage advice. I don't know.
It's, you know, I don't know if age teaches you anything. I think I know less than I did.
But well, I was thinking about how we get this news about the Jar Jar Binks Killer and Duck crossover.
You're talking some Star Wars. Okay. It's your birthday wish to talk some Star Wars. All right. Hit me.
I mean, I think that the chance of seeing it in the film might be higher.
Yeah, and to set it for the audience who doesn't catch what you're mentioning, there's a comic series coming out in February, a one-shot comic co-written by Ahmed Best that features Keller and Beck, his Jedi character, the one who saved Grogu, and Jar Jar Binks, the famous character that I love, and he played and still plays. So you think, what's the percentage of this means we'll now see Jar Jar Binks in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, Brennan?
I'm gonna keep it like 40%. I don't want to.
That's pretty high. I like that. I raised it to 10.
Overestimate the possibility.
I agree. On Force Center today, I raised it to 10%.
Yeah, well, it's so funny. I've been thinking about the Jar Jar jokes that have not aged well.
Pretty much all of them.
And and they did that revival of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that's the one thing that Wayne Brady can't let go of.
Is that right? I've seen Wayne Brady do a few of them. Yeah, a lot of folks can't, even people I like. But that's why we're here to fight for the love of Jar Jar Binks. We're here to fight for Ahmed Best legacy.
It's all good, but you go back to watch things like Community and Parks and Rec.
It's like a lot of things in pop culture.
Jokes that just haven't really aged.
Yeah, it is. It's, I think I've been there for it too. I would not want to share a lot of my old radio air checks from the 90s. Not that anything was horrendous or horrible, but you're just kind of making the jokes at the time, and you think that's what you do. This is the Tonight Show effect. We weren't really political. We weren't doing bad things. Like you were. It's just, but we all kind of went with it because we thought that's what you did. And I think Jar Jar jokes fall into that.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting because the irony that Patton Oswalt, one of the most infamously obnoxious prequel haters, ends up moderating a panel of Andor, which he absolutely loves. And I'm like, oh yes, Andor is the show for the grunty Gen Xers who still hate the prequels and can't get over it.
Well, and he made that very clear. I didn't see the panel, but I heard some reports from people there. So yeah, I think as you get older, the little inside jokes or the things that are your cultural watershed, water cooler jokes and comments, things move on. And if you're not plugged into the zeitgeist and know that we've all moved on from them, you can get caught in the past. And I think that's an example right there.
It's
of
true,
what we're talking
but
about.
I mean, would I love to see Jar Jar in Mandalorian? Yes, I would.
Yeah, cool.
I think the time has come that we can do that.
I think the time has come indeed. Is this your 2026 birthday wish? Are we looking ahead to your birthday?
I don't know if he'll appear in the movie, but I have to imagine that at some point he will appear in live action, or at least.
There you go.
I mean, obviously he's CGI, but that's all other.
Brett and Mystical Mar predicting Jar Jar's return.
At some point.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really mean it. Jar Jar is one of my favorite characters. So, Brennan, final thoughts here. I wanted. What is one big highlight from your birthday celebration that you want to share?
My 10-month-old niece was adorable.
Oh, see, look at that. You look at this. This is a testament to your character, Brennan. It's your day. It's your big celebration, but you want to put the spotlight on your niece. That's a good thing.
She is the cutest thing ever.
That's a good thing. Well, I'm sure you're a spectacular uncle.
Well, That's right. I gotta raise her with the right things, though.
Well, I'm sure you're going to lead her in the right direction when it comes to Star Wars.
Yep. All right.
Brennan, thanks for calling in. Happy belated. Thanks for being part of this community, and I'm glad you received all the love you deserve on your birthday.
Yep. All right.
Brennan Mystical Mar checking in there. Love that there. Yeah, it was so sweet. His mom reached out and was like, hey, we want to surprise Brennan with some good birthday wishes. So I was able to get some fine folks together. So always a good thing there. I won't do that for you, Steve, but so tell your wife not to bother.
Yeah, let me cross it off the list. I'm also gonna looking at flights to Burbank and everything.
I mean, come on by. Look, Steve. Steve,
okay.
Get out of here.
You're obviously busy. It's okay.
No. Get out of here.
I'm not getting on a plane. Get the hell out of here. You know that.
Okay, drive out here. We'll go to Wood Ranch. Come on.
That's that would be it. It's the food tour. That's what I need you to take me on. I need you to take me on the food tour to expand this palate. You know what I mean? Get me out of this vanilla zone. That's what I need you for, Ken.
No. You're good. You're talking about the Blathering Ken Napzok food tour, like like the 7-Eleven I go to, the Del Taco, the Jersey Mike's, the Wood Ranch.
Yeah, exactly.
The Barney's, okay.
Yeah, your favorite Chili's in the area, like any of you know what I mean, just all the staples.
There is a chance that my living situation currently in flux. There's a chance I might have to move to a spot that will be 5 minutes away from my favorite Chili's in the San Fernando Valley, the one where my social life began, Steve.
Well, there you go. I mean, you gotta look at everything with a glass half full. But yeah, it'd be like drinking around the world at Epcot, but eating around Burbank with Ken.
Yeah. Indeed. A little housekeeping, then we'll get to some other things. And I got more calls lined up. If you want to call in, please, let's do a call-heavy show tonight. Become a YouTube channel member, support it, patreon.com/KenNapzok. Get on in here. New merch at the merch level. Adding some consulting tiers. I got the executive producer tier, adding some consulting tiers. If you go out there and want to start your own podcast and you've always wanted to know how, or you want to be a better broadcaster, I'm offering some of those things through Patreon very soon. Little housekeeping. Thank you all thank you to all of you who watched Monday morning show that came out this morning. It probably came off a little darker than I intended it to be, Steve. But I got a lot of nice messages and comments, and I haven't responded to all of them. I'm okay. Everything's fine. But just my life is collapsing around me. But I'm actually doing it with a smile. But I wanted to talk about how just big changes. That are the loss of identity is what's on my mind. So, Steve, hopefully I didn't scare you.
No. See, I read the comments first before I saw the video because I went and saw the video. There was still a decent amount of comments on there. I watched it during my lunch break today, and I was like reading the comments. I was like, "Ah, shit, what happened?" Like, I hope Ken is okay. And then I watched the video. I was like, "Ah, he's fine. He's not. It wasn't as bad as the. So I'm with you. I'm glad the people out there are concerned and looking out for you. But yeah, no, I didn't think it was as doom and gloom as maybe it may have been received with some folks, but maybe that's just because I know you too well now, and I just know, the levels of darkness and cynicism. So it's, sometimes it just doesn't come out as bad. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. It was uplifted. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I got a new mailbag coming out Wednesday. I have to reshoot it. Holy crap! I shot one on Saturday. It was actually a question Brennan Marr asked, and though I wanted to put some ideas down. I've been kind of going off the cuff, and I'm like, it's almost working for me. So I put down like one of these, and after I recorded, I realized, what's that sound? The fan in my house had been like knocking it, so the recording sounds like this. So I have to do another one. It comes out tomorrow. But if you're on the Patreon page, or you're a YouTube channel member, I'm looking for more mailbag questions. There's a fine line between short and cute and maybe too dark. Think of what could prompt an 8 to 10 minute video when you're asking the questions. But I do need some more. And final bit of housekeeping. Thursday, we got a big show. Hopefully Steve's here. We got some NFL picks. Might even be with our guest star. That's been teased so much. I can't. Of course, I can't. All right. Well, I always forget one little element. Anyways, on Thursday, the horror hose will be here. Yep. That's the brand name, and I love it. Darina and April will be here for a segment to talk about Halloween, talk about horror, and all the things that the horror hoes cover. Know Darina very well, one of my favorites. I actually don't know April. It's going to be fun. So tune in Thursday for that as well. Then there you go. That's the housekeeping. Love that there. I'm going to take a call, but Steve, should we... I'll just go here. I don't necessarily believe in the end times prophecies. Okay, I used to in the Bible. You heard of the Bible,
okay.
Right?
Yeah, familiar.
In the book of Revelation, no S on that, right? But I used to study it. To be clear, the bottom of my bookshelf in my living room, there are about nine books about the end times. So this is used to be something I'd study, and I just don't believe it anymore. All right, maybe prophecies could be misunderstood, says Yoda and George R. R. Martin. However, one of the heralds or harbingers of things to come is an antichrist rising after people try to kill him and rising and then bringing peace to the Middle East and the world. Right? That's my whole life is the antichrist is going to bring peace to the Middle East. Donald J. Trump has proclaimed that he has brought peace to the Middle East, Steve.
I didn't even put those dots together. You're not wrong.
He proclaimed it. The man who we all saw die in front of us with an assassin's bullet and rise again, he brought peace to the Middle East. I don't know if that proves anything, Steve, but we should start to pack our bags.
So what should I be worried about? Is it trumpets? What is the thing I need to be worried about? What is the fire alarm going off where it's
locusts.
And also what point is it to locusts? Okay, well, we
rivers
had
of fire
cicadas.
and blood.
We have a lot of cicadas. Okay,
cicadas.
Rivers of fire and blood. That's a little, rivers of fire and blood is a little, that's a little obvious, but,
yeah. So,
okay.
I don't know, just point it out. I
should probably get my kids baptized, huh? Maybe that's.
Hurry up and do that. We all missed the rapture last week. And my problem with it too, it's not that I can't envision or can't get behind. In fact, some days, Steve, I hope that there are a blaring of trumpets and the world ends. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, maybe we had a good run.
Well, at least you'd be like, you know what? We know, what I mean? It would be a lot of confirmation. It'd be kind of be like, it'd be like, you know what? At least we know who's right, who's wrong. Hey, you got lucky. You grew up, rooting for the team that ended up being right. All that kind of stuff. And you're like, trumpets. Okay. You know what? Or at least we're all in this together. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to address it. I addressed it a little bit. I'm not going to get into it deeply here because I'm not the guy. You shouldn't be coming to me for the hottest and smartest of Israel and Palestine.
No.
Stakes. And takes. I think it's nothing about this is bad. I just think to call this peace, to look at it that, and to, again, as I said before, I refuse to let the government of Israel off the hook for the genocide. And I want those Nuremberg trials. I want to see Bibi sitting in some box being grilled by lawyers and sentenced. I want some sort of tribunal or something that also sounds like end times to come for this man. And that this isn't great. I'm glad that the remains of those Israelis captured and killed in Palestine by Hamas are coming back. I'm thrilled that there are 20 hostages returned. I am also thrilled that what the media is calling prisoners, but are actually hostages taken by Israeli, the IDF, that about 2,000 of them are being returned to Gaza. I'm thrilled for all this, Steve, but I don't know about you. Am I being too harsh that this is not the end of a movie where now hobbits and Ewoks are dancing?
No, this is no. Yeah, no one's doing the Jubilee or anything like that. And Amanda makes a great point in the comments. Frogs are, I think, one of the plagues during the end times. So that's another box that we can check. So good call there.
Mandalorian Jedi.
Yeah,
it's a good plague. I like this plague.
That's not the worst one. Big summer for heralds, by the way. I just wrote that down, just in general. Just heralding all sorts of things, whether it's Galactus or the apocalypse or all sorts of stuff. I think just the heralds in general have gotten a lot of play this summer. Ken, I was absolutely traumatized in the late 90s by a History Channel special that came out about Nostradamus and all of these end time predictions and things. And it talked about how there would be like nuclear war in 2001 and all this kind of stuff. And it was about all these different like Bible code things predicting the end of the world. And then, of course, like 9/11 happens in 2001. So there was a good, like, from like 1998 to 1999 where my conscious child brain was absolutely gripped in fear that the world was going to end in like 2 or 3 years. And I was kind of like a crazy person that you would see like walking down the street, like claiming the end times are coming. That was kind of going on in my head for a good 6 month stretch because of something I watched on the History Channel like 10 o'clock at night when I shouldn't have been awake as a child.
I've seen that Nostradamus doc. I had to study it for that YouTube job I had. Yeah, no, and I think, look, like I said, it's fascinating stuff. I am of the unlearned position that the Book of Revelation is a coded message from, was it John on Atmos? Is that whoever the fuck it is? It's a coded message from him to the Christians in captivity and under Roman rule. It is that. And it was also the history of it. Again, I don't know in front of me right now because I've put those books. Actually, the books I own wouldn't tell me this. It's the other things of when all that stuff was kind of moved around, put into place, and all that stuff. But the mindset, exactly what you're talking about, that's what's dangerous. We absolutely have people in power. Absolutely have people in power who I think, much like Qui-Gon kind of force controlling, the chance cube for Watto. They're trying to, put things into place to bring about these times. I truly believe that. Is that its own conspiracy? Maybe. But there's people in my life. I was almost not registered for kindergarten because it was like, Jesus is coming back in 79. Like, just look at the news. And I think at any point, prophecy is vague enough. At any point, you can look at the news, whether that news comes to you on your phone in 20 seconds or whether some carrier pigeon brought it 6 weeks over. You look at the news. It's like, yeah, it could be the end times. I think it's just hey, maybe be kind and good if Jesus is going to come back. That's what I think, Steve.
There might be some value in carrier pigeons nowadays, considering nothing's private anymore. Just throwing that out there. Maybe look into carrier pigeon stocks. Maybe we'll invest in carrier pigeons. They might have a comeback coming here pretty soon. Just saying. Given everyone's worried about data privacy and everything, government can't look at your carrier pigeon messages, can they?
Gen Alpha's going to do this. They're already using flip phones. Flip phones.
Oh man, I missed the satisfaction of hanging up on someone like that with that was so good. I think part of this, Ken, is not necessarily. Do I think there's plenty of people in the government that are like batshit crazy? Of course. Look at Stephen Miller. Look at all sorts of folks. But do I necessarily believe that those are all the true believers in all of this, so much as they are just using that to control the base and to control the messaging and all that? That's more of where I put it. I think it's more of it's a play for control, play for power, that kind of thing. As far as whether or not the pictures of them all. I just roll my eyes in the weirdest ways when you see all these pictures of these huddled masses all huddled around Trump, and they're like, putting their hand on his shoulder and praying or something. He's at this tiny itty bitty little desk or something like that. It's just, I don't know. It's just, how does that look not performative? And then all day he's talking about today, how he's not getting into heaven, even though he just brokered peace. He just brokered peace in the Middle East, but he's not going to get into heaven. If that doesn't get you into heaven, then we're all screwed. Like there's no point for any of us to do anything. If negotiating peace in Israel doesn't get you into heaven, it's pointless.
Says something. It also, the fact that he's what, 79. That's when you start getting really obsessed with the end, right? The legacy.
Yeah, well,
going. Yeah. And you're punching out. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. He said it was very specific. Jared Kushner, one of the new owners of EA, broken piece. Yeah,
so does my Star Wars: The Old Republic subscription now go to like Jared Kushner? Because that's EA. It's like $12 a month. Do I have to feel bad
in
playing
2027? I think that's when it's Saudi money. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the game's on its last threads by it, so I can't admit by 2027. We'll see.
Oh,
anyways,
yeah. Need new and I'm not done with Madden, but I'll tell you what, I'm getting a little pissed at Madden. I saw something. It was an older Madden developer from the early 2000s PlayStation 1-2 era, and he was trying. And I didn't. And you ever click on a video and you start watching, and then you get distracted, and you're like, oh, let me watch it again, and then your screen is refreshed without you doing anything, and it's gone. And you can't find it. It was on Instagram.
Yeah.
He was saying how the game now is mostly based off of preset like animatics and animations. So in the past, you had more control over the players. It looked a little shittier. I mean, it looked good then, but now it looks bad. But ever since he said that, or I saw that clip, it's all I see every time I play Madden. you know that if I throw this pass, it's either going to do this animation or it's going to be that animation. And it's on rails. The game's almost on rails.
Right.
So this might be the last year.
Yeah, that kills some of the magic. That's kind of like some older RPG games are a little bit like that. Like Morrowind is like that. I think KOTOR might even be like that to an extent, where in the background there's just a dice roll happening when you click a button, and then it telling you whether or not, based on your hit percentage. I know Morrowind is like that for sure. Like you swing a sword, it looks like you're swinging a sword, but it'll just sit there and miss unless the dice roll in the background is telling you, oh, your hit percentage means X, so you actually hit the guy. But yeah, it's so you're right, because the animations look cool, and I wonder how they do that, because that must especially just be for the single player stuff too. Because like when you play against each other like online, they make such an emphasis on like you can hit someone like 7 different ways as a defender. You know what I mean? Like so, and there's like 8 different ways to catch the ball now. So it's all just smoke and mirrors and bullshit. Whatever. The game's been the same damn thing for 6 years anyway.
It has. So, yeah. It has. All right, we got some calls. I totally forgot the main topic. Well, put a poll up. Let me check the poll. What happens first? Giants win the Super Bowl. George R.R. Martin wins a winner. Can me watches Deep Space Nine, or the Jets make the playoffs? 20 votes. Giants winning the Super Bowl is 50%. Me watching DS9, 30%. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, I thought your community knew you better than that, Ken.
Jets make the playoffs. Martin finishes the book. This because George R. R. Martin at Comic-Con this weekend, who I'll say he's looking thinner, like he lost some weight, and losing weight doesn't necessarily mean you're completely healthy on the inside, to be clear. But, he doesn't look frail to me, old. He looks like, all right, eating a little less tacos down at the old Santa Fe Mexican restaurant that he loves so much. I like that. 77 is George R. R. Martin.
That was epic, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that.
I say I don't want to comment on people's weight, but, he was... he's always a bigger guy, and that was part of his jokes and part of his anger at people being like, quit it, but all right, I'll give him credit there. But he says, people are speculating, am I going to die soon before I finish the books? I'm not going to die until I see the Jets and the Giants. He's a big Giants fan in the Subway Super Bowl. I think that means I live forever. Yeah. If he just said Giants Super Bowl, that could happen. That could happen in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, God forbid,
Maybe.
but yeah.
Yeah, no.
But no, I mean, this is if George R. R. Martin has found a way to connect his life force to the fate of the Giants and the Jets competing in the Super Bowl, then that's then Bezos and Peter Thiel and all these guys talking to all the Saudi princes and everything, and or like Putin and Xi talking to each other about like living forever. They're all wasting their time, because this is the way to do it. If you tie your life force to the Jets and the Giants playing in the Super Bowl, you are good, man. Because the New York Jets are not a serious football. There's a better chance the Jets get relegated to a minor league team or become some kind of a football college before that team competes for a Super Bowl.
Football college. As a Miami Dolphin fan, at least I get to say we're not as bad as the Jets.
Everyone gets to say that, Ken. Literally everyone. Even the Browns get to say that, and that means a lot. I'm sorry, Cleveland. We know how I think about what I feel about Cleveland, and even they get to say that they're not the Jets.
I still think it's low, like 22 votes now. Now I'm not watching DS9, folks. Before the Giants George R. Martin will finish WoW before I watch DS9. There's just no way around it. I haven't had a chance.
You've probably answered this question a million times. I'm sorry, but do you think he's going to finish the books, or at least wins?
I waffle, taking a tragedy out of a death, natural otherwise, and I don't want. He's the same age as my parents. I don't want to. I want him to live and them to live. Okay,
I get it.
I think I have no doubt the dude wants to. Like I have no doubt the dude wants to, and I'm not dumb enough to think that hey, just because he's working on other things, he can't work on the books. Like, look how many fucking shows I produce. None of them successful, but I produce a ton of them. I really think in a year or two he'll get it out.
Okay,
that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I feel bad that I think just the reception and the way maybe he was just kind of waiting for the some time to pass since the end of the TV show and kind of the dust to settle, so to speak, from that story. And just I don't know. I hope that the reception to the TV show didn't sour his way or change the way that he wanted to do stuff. I don't know.
I think it changed the way he wanted to finish his ending, and I think he'll never. And I don't mean this to be. He doesn't owe me anything, and I think that's why I want to be clear in my sentiment. I'm not one of those finish the damn books. I'll make my jokes. Right. I sometimes get pissed. I get pissed that he really loves kind of going after these creators, and it's like, dude, finish your books. Like, just go. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this.
Right.
But I, in my heart, believe that a lot of the big choices made in Game of Thrones in the last season 6, 7, and 8 came from him. Not like he said, this is what you must do, but like it was in that fabled conversation where he kind of laid all the notes. And I think he saw some reaction, and I think maybe he's not like reworking it, but he's already written himself into so many corners, as he will admit, that he's got to kind of untangle some of the stuff.
I would love to read the book about the last, or just about the whole making of that show, but particularly the last 4 seasons or so. But just about all of it, about all of the politics, all of just how does that work? Like when they thought of an idea, they're like, do they go to George and be like, hey, we thought of this thing, yay or nay? And he just goes, yay, but I imagine everything was a yay, but X, Y, Z, B. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
There is an interview where he talked about how up through because he used to obviously every year would write an episode up to like season 4. And then he said, I got to go concentrate on the book. But really, and there was an interview that I can't really point to directly with a link, but he had said he knew that maybe his time on the show was done because he was on set and the creators, the producers, maybe the writers, directors, everyone were huddled over what to do on set, with a character, a choice. They were all doing that thing, and no one came to him. And I'm not even saying he said that with bitterness. He just kind of said like, oh, okay.
That's telling. Yeah.
It's telling, and I think it's fine. And Addie brought it up here. Where is that? Yeah. Highly recommend this book. Fire Cannot Kill a Dragon. This is the official Untold Story of the Epic series, written by journalist James Hibbard. Really good kind of oral history. Where a lot of the producer stuff admit some of their mistakes or do some of the, hey, we'd like to do that again and everything. So it's a fascinating read if anyone has not read that.
That's awesome. Oh, very cool. I'll definitely check that out.
All right. Our big, I forgot about this. This was going to be the big topic. We touched upon it, but so MTV dead. MTV dead. Not 100% true. What is happening is Paramount Global. God, that's a scary name. Just sounds very planned community.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah. Is Hank Scorpio controlling that? Simpsons reference. Paramount Global plans to shut down the 5 MTV-branded music channels in the UK. Sorry, James Holmes, Maddie Gunner, and Dave Mackay, and parts of Europe by December 31st, 2025. The affected channels include MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, MTV Live, and Club MTV. Paramount has not confirmed a full global closure, but industry trackers like Nikolai report that similar wind downs are planned in select markets, which I absolutely don't doubt. But for right now, MTV is alive. I wanted to talk a little bit about the memories of MTV. And yeah, 898 for M says what a lot of people are saying, MTV was alive. I watched a great clip from Ricky Rackman, who was a key figure in late 80s, early 90s MTV. And he was... He made the same. He's like, I honestly didn't know it was on, and I don't even think he meant that snarky. He's like, I don't, it's like they played reruns of ridiculousness. But he said, a lot of people, they point to the death of MTV and they look at the reality shows in the early 90s, and he says, I don't really think that's true, and I actually agree with that. I think it was a clear pivot, and I think that was part of it. But he pointed in this article I was reading from Yahoo points out. YouTube, the internet killed MTV.
Yeah. Oh,
MTV was the internet for us.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the pop culture. That was the young people's pop culture pipeline into what was going on in the world before you could go online and just look at everything you wanted to. Yep. If you were a young person, there was a pipeline on TV. It was as a kid, you watched Nickelodeon or cartoons or Disney Channel. If you were a little bit more closer to the late 90s and everything when Disney Channel was a thing, like you watched Saturday morning cartoons and all the, the great cartoons of the 80s and stuff like that. And then as a kid, there was a pipeline, right? If you were a jock, kid, you watched ESPN and Sports Center and all the sports stuff, or if you were into music and all that kind of stuff, there was the MTV pipeline and all that kind of stuff. So it was just those are the avenues of TV that you watched. And so yeah, MTV was just how you learned all the celebrity news and all the stuff that was going on about your favorite bands and everything. Like that was how we got. Man, TRL was a religion Like when you would came home from school, like as a kid of the '90s, like we came home, Carson Daly told us who was cool, who we were supposed to listen to, all the different bands that came up, all that stuff. Yeah, it's, but yeah, like you said, it's the reality TV program was just a pivot to what people were watching, right? The Osbournes, Real World, Road Rules, that's what people liked. Yeah, it wasn't that necessarily killed it, but it was just that we didn't go to MTV for music anymore. We went to it for that, and then that kind of programming itself kind of ran its course and/or found its own little niches where it still continues on with the challenge, and there's still a Jersey Shore running somewhere, but it just doesn't have the cultural stranglehold it used to.
It doesn't, and the influence and the way it grew stars and made stars. My buddy Barry Cohen in chat talking about MTV was great for comedy. Jon Stewart, Tom Green, some of the late night content like Ian Flux, Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, it was the true watercolor moment. And I'm with Ricky Rackman, and maybe not the first or last time in my life I'll say that. I don't know. I liked Headbangers Ball. But it was, I don't think as simple as what the jokes are. What I was talking about earlier in the show of Jar Jar Binks jokes that are old and outdated, because guess what? A lot of people love the character, even if you don't. Real World did not. Real World was historic, but Real World plays out now on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube. Right. That's what we all are watching. The vlogs, even the comedy skits and everything. They're all kind of our version of Real World. I mentioned it up top tonight. Like there's this professional dancer, Kasha Campbell. I don't know who she is. I know she's local. Occasional check on the stuff. Oh, good. She went to an award show. Good for her. She didn't get to go to the bar. But what the fuck? How do I fucking know this? Like, how do I know this? Why do I know that Lindsey Sterling isn't a Mormon anymore? Like, why do I know this shit? And that feeds. She was. Believe me, when who is this person? Looked up and said, "Oh, we can't hang out if you don't drink." But she's admitted to having coffee now. But that's all. That to me slides into Real World. That all comes out of that for me. Yeah. But anyways, I don't want to be. And we're not being negative about it, but I don't want the jokes. If you out there have a favorite thing from MTV's past, some of you have already shared some of them, but call in tonight. If you call in, and we got calls from Jared, we got calls from Addie. I want to hear some of the things that MTV did, good or bad, but did. If Kurt Loder and Tabitha Soren came on, I knew something serious was going to happen.
Right. Oh yeah. There was its own little like breaking news, like when you would see like ABC or NBC like with the little clock and dun 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 dun. Like MTV had its own little thing with the satellite sound and everything. And Kurt Loder would show up and be like, either it would either be like some old rock star just died, or someone just got arrested again, something like that. It would be some kind of pop culture like kind of news. Like, and the other thing was Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV. Do I have that right? I loved that show as a kid. That was amazing. I loved that show as a kid.
That was the thing too. Is if you make the simple joke of MTV started sucking the moment they stopped playing music, that's not true, man.
No,
that's not true. No. It is stuff like that you're talking about. It is remote control was mentioned in chat here. Laserbolt, who was a little bit older when MTV dropped. We all skipped school to watch the Thriller video premiere at MTV. It was special.
I was of the generation, Ken, where MTV started as mostly music, and then as I got older into high school and stuff, the music was really like the B or the C menu item of MTV. It was really Jackass. It was all the orbiters of Jackass, whether it was Bam Margera, it was Deer Deck. It was before that. It was like Real World, Road World, The Challenge, all of that kind of stuff. The reality stuff, the Osbournes, the reality stuff really did take over in the 2000s, and the music was kind of the back. Pimp My Ride, like let's not forget, like we didn't love watching Pimp My Ride, Cribs, yeah, exactly, like that, MTV from 95 to 2005, we loved that reality slap. People don't give me that revisionist history, like we didn't all love that shit. Get out of here.
Steve and I, instead of talking about peace in the Middle East, we're talking about don't you tread on MTV in the 90s. Don't you tell me. But it was,
Spring Break. We loved that shit.
Spring Break. We're talking about Singled Out. Jared brings up Singled Out. Yes. My buddy Barry said Singled Out launched Jenny McCarthy. We not and all
Chris
good things happen.
Right?
Hardwick. Yeah. I know he went on to other things and other controversies, but I have been around Chris and think he's a nice guy. So, and the music videos. Yeah, and I miss those. But you know what? I still watch music videos all the time, but they're on YouTube. Last Dinner Party, Chaperone, Haley Williams. It's just it's all going while I'm working. It's all in the background. That's my MTV.
Yeah. VH1 had that moment where they kind of tried to be like, oh, we're the real music channel. Like MTV is where you go for all the reality TV stuff. We have pop-up video, and I love the 80s. And I liked it too. That was fine. Look, those shows were fun.
Here's the thing. I had an MTV soul, but I dressed like VH1, so I watched a lot of VH1. Okay. Okay.
I dressed like VH1 should put that on a t-shirt.
Okay. I will. We'll talk some sports here at the top of the hour. Mark Sanchez. I'm so late on the Mark Sanchez story. Maybe Steve can enlighten me. We'll go over some NFL picks, how I did on the weekend officially. But I want to take some calls here right now. This is the bread and butter of the show. Thank you all for just tuning in. This is Blathering Live. We go live Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, our silly Saturdays. I think I'm going to get some buzz balls on Saturday. We'll see if I get booked for a show. I can't show up to a show hammered. I can get hammered at a comedy show, but I can't show up hammered. I guess I could. What am I saying? Recently, Steve, is this a problem? And I'll take a call from Jared after this. I have been showing up to my Flappers gigs with a to-go coffee cup, except for inside is a ton of rum. And I just sit in the corner. And I want to be clear, I do not sip it while I'm driving. I am a good little boy. But I do sip it while I'm walking into the club. And then there's been a couple people that are like, oh, coffee. And I'm like, yeah. It's coffee. And then my friend David Rosenberg, hilarious comic, comes up to me and he goes, does your mother know? It's like,
here's the line, Ken. If you feel self-conscious about telling people what's in the cup, that should tell you something. If you have any reservations about when someone asks you, hey, what's in the cup, and you can be like, okay, that's when you should it's like I had a teacher in high school, Ken, who always got like a big gulp before school, and so she just always had a big gulp, right? There was always a Diet Coke in that big gulp. She could have been putting airplane bottle after airplane bottle into that thing, and the teacher's lounge coming into class, we would have had no idea. But if she had something other than that big gulp cup, we would have been concerned and been like, what is wrong with this lady?
What's that?
So
what's that?
Yeah, what's in the cup? Exactly.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because the first couple times I had a lot of shame. I was like, I'm going to get caught. And now most of the time, because I'm a regular at the club, the wait staff will see me. This great guy Jeff will give me a drink, But the third time was when someone's like, coffee? And I went, no, rum. And they just kind of looked at me.
Is it just rum?
No, I mix it with soda. I mix it with diet.
All right.
Diet
just
Coke.
had to make sure we were like really didn't have an issue. Okay.
I could do straight whiskey. I honestly can't do straight rum.
Too much sugar. Too sweet.
Too much sugar indeed. Let's take a call from Jared, the Thai pilot. Jared, favorite MTV memory? Tell me right now.
Oh God, you guys are a hoot. It's not a favorite memory, but it's the one that always sticks out to me, and that's when I was in Utah on a snowboarding trip, and Kurt came on the screen. Rage Against the Machine has decided to break up, and that broke my heart, because I had yet to see them, as I was still a little young. It's like, I don't know, 10, 13, something like that. But yeah, to this
Bulls
day,
were no longer on parade.
No, they weren't. It was a sad time. But no, I loved MTV back in the day, especially all the late night shows, the animated shows, the claymation stuff. That was great stuff.
Great legacy.
MTV killed itself by spreading itself too thin. Why does MTV need 15 channels? Come on.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's like a restaurant that gets out of its lanes too far. Yeah. I agree with that. Like, welcome to, Big Pete's Ribs, now with sushi. No, Big Pete. But I agree with that. And Kurt Loder, great influence on me. Like, if any of you loved me delivering the movie news on Schmoes, yes, Dennis Miller had a lot to do with that, but it actually had more to do with Kurt Loder, who was delivering the news in a style. And I delivered the movie news first, comedy second. So I owe that to Kurt Loder. Good stuff. Good stuff,
Jared. When
Jared.
Kurt was on screen, we listened, man.
And Kurt's like in his late 70s now. How old is Kurt Loder?
I don't know. Steve, you hit the Google.
I'm on it.
But I had a fun little Monday question for you tonight for you and Steve.
Okay, first of all, hold on.
Uh-oh.
He's 80.
He's 80. Yeah.
What the fuck?
80 years old. Amazing. Anyways,
I could have went my night without knowing that.
it's
a
little
good for 80, honestly.
No, he looks good for 80. Yeah, yeah. When I'm 80, I want to look like that. But yeah. Anyways, what was your thought here?
So, you get to decide. You get granted this magic power. You can either A, never have to eat again, or B, never have to sleep again.
Oh God. These are the only things I like, Jared. These are the only things I like. I will give up. I guess I have to give up eating. I have to give up eating. It's a close call. Love eating. Holy moly, I love eating. I love holding court at a dinner table. But I absolutely love the art of sleeping. I love naps. I love I love it. I love keeping it a little bit too cold in the room, and then I have to get warm. I sleep so cozy. And then just today, I didn't have to do an early episode of Force Center, so I slept in a little bit and bed rotted. Yeah, I'm going with that. Bye-bye, eating.
Steve?
I have to go the other way here. I have to be able to eat. There's no way I'm giving up food, man. There's just no way.
I agree.
Like, not only the satiating of the hunger, but like all of the reasons you talked about, the social aspects of it, the bonding aspects of it, the way food makes you feel. And also, if I'm giving up sleep now, there's no adverse health effects to this, assuming I don't just like die in 3 weeks without sleep. Like, think of how much more productive I could be if I'm not sleeping anymore, right? Like, okay, no more sleep. I could do so much more. I could use my sleep time for like all of my leisure. You know what I mean? I don't know. Spend this right.
Sorry. Finish your thought. Steve and I have to get back. We have to get back in rhythm. We've been out of rhythm.
It's been a little while. Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah, and Jared, you're the wizard making up these rules. I do agree with Steve's point that if you didn't have to sleep, you might be able to get more done. However, does that mean, Jared, does the mental fatigue still exist? Because after, like, I have this rule now, like after 9 o'clock at night, I don't do any work. I do not do any work. And I work for the time I wake up till about that time. Would the mental fatigue still be there?
It's the mental fatigue that's an interesting way of putting it, because it's like the body does not require rest. So it's like, it's just a matter of, does your social battery run out? Does your, valley of fucks thus runneth dry for the day kind of situation.
I figured this out.
Hold on. That's in the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 11. Does your fuckus ran out? What did you say?
When your valley of fucks, let's run out.
Yes, that's it. And the Romans still rule you. Steve, you figured it out?
I figured it out. Drugs.
I mean, Jared wouldn't disagree.
Yeah, drugs. Yeah, so yeah, I'm 100% taking food. I can if I need that rest, that downtime, that really like feeling like I'm just melting into the couch and I can get like the closest thing I can to sleep without actually falling asleep. I know exactly how to do that. So yeah.
Do you, Wizard Jared, the TIE pilot, do you, in setting these rules, think that if you give one of them up, you are no longer aware that you gave it up? Or do you look at, like, are you at a restaurant being like, what are you doing? And someone's like eating. You're like, what is that? Like, is it like that movie where the Beatles don't exist? Like, what is it?
No, or you like Captain Barbosa, where it just like, you just pour it down, it just goes right through.
No, it was just one of those, popped up in front of you today. So tomorrow you're going to wake up and it's either that'll be the last sleep you get, or you wake up and no need for breakfast.
Jesus, when you say it like that, that's the last sleep you'll get. Good job. Good night. I'll most likely kill you in the morning. What are you taking, Jared?
I'd probably do the not have to sleep again.
Okay.
Because I too love stuff in my fat ass.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's a tough call. Sophie's choice, said LQ in the chat, and I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Thank you for that, Jared. Thank you. No Game of Thrones Thursday because we got the horror hose hanging in here.
No. Give the girls their time.
Yeah. And other things as well. We got some sports. Hopefully a guest star for NFL picks. But Jared, thank you, buddy.
Of course, guys. Stay safe.
Bing, bing. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. It is a great call.
That's pro level work, Ken.
Thank you. All right. We got sports top of the hour, but I want to. What are you giggling at, Steve?
your little soundbite that was fun.
That's pro level work, Ken.
My buddy Tim. My buddy Tim. All right, let's take a call from Addie. Then we'll do sports at the top of the hour here. And look at that, Franny just woke up. This is I've given you an hour to stream. It's time to feed me. I got you. We're going to take a call from Dr. Addie, okay? Okay, you want to come here. She runs out. See, she's like, now she thinks we're like, we're going to go get squirrels.
She's camera shy. Yeah.
Yeah. Come here.
Here we go.
She has peed on the floor.
She
got chihuahua shy. All right. Let's bring in Dr. Addie, resident professor of smart things, who is still lost in Taylor Swift world here.
And I had to suffer through a speech to the Israeli parliament this morning in order to get Taylor Swift news.
Explain more.
Taylor Swift was making an exclusive announcement this morning on Good Morning America.
Oh, this is like when in 2015 people had to watch Monday Night Football to get the Force Awakens trailer.
Sure, except I like football.
And you like Star Wars.
And I like but like the thing I had to watch, I enjoyed to get the thing I wanted to watch.
Okay.
I woke up this morning, turned on ABC, and unbeknownst to me, ABC News was preempting Good Morning America to show me. Have you ever seen the movie Billy Madison?
I haven't.
Then I can't make the joke I was going to make.
Steve has. You could make it. I'm probably the only one here who hasn't.
Steve, all that was running through my head the entire time I was listening to him talk was the speech from the principal that we're all dumber for having listened to you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I think I actively lost IQ points. Because what I realized this morning is I've never heard him speak without like the filter of the news or late night television or the Last Week Tonight or the Daily Show.
Right.
I thought maybe it would be more coherent.
So this is your first time hearing a full speech from the false prophet. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
I know what you mean.
He complained at least 3 times about how long other people talked for, making him late for the signing in Egypt, and then he just kept going.
Yeah, he's mush. He's mushroom sauce, and he probably always has been. But it's only been age has exasperated. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you, Addie. I know what you mean. You're like, I only see him and others in clips. I cannot stand Mike Johnson for more than 25 seconds at a time. I cannot stand Josh Hawley for more than 25 seconds at a time. But then eventually you see it and you're like, oh, it's even worse than I thought. I know what you're talking about.
This is not why I called in, though. You had said Taylor Swift, and it reminded me of how I spent my morning because she announced a new doc series and a new version of the Eras Tour coming to Disney Plus, and I'm a very camper.
What's on your mind then?
I did not want to bring this up on Saturday because it seemed like the antithesis of a silly Saturday topic. But I was curious if you had any thoughts or feelings on the passing of Diane Keaton.
David points out that's Jim Downey is the principal. Yeah, I did. I am a fan of Diane Keaton, and I don't know all of the circumstances around her passing. But it's also one of those passings where you're like, you look at that number and you're like, my folks are there. Here we go, that kind of thing. So it affected me in that way. But I'm a huge fan of the Steve Martin Father of the Bride. I'll say part 2, but part 1 for sure. And obviously she's just an icon in so many other ways from her work then. But that's kind of where I discovered her. I didn't sit down and watch Annie Hall when I was 12. I watched Father of the Bride, and thought that's how love worked. Was that movie? And it's just one of those. She's such a warm, wonderful performer. Not only just this talent, but so true to herself, and became an icon. Not just for her roles, but for who she was, and how she carried herself. So absolute loss there. Absolute loss.
Same on all counts.
Favorite Diane Keaton performances? There's too many to choose one.
Too many to choose one, but I, like you, was a very big Father of the Bride fan as
so great.
a child and as an adult. I that's one of those movies where like I haven't watched it in a while, and I'm like, I should.
I might try to pop that on this week. I absolutely love it, and I'm such a Steve Martin fan, and that's where that's what pulled me in. But yeah, that movie, I joke, but it's like one of those movies I watched it when I was a little younger, old enough to maybe know, but younger. And I just kind of thought, oh, all this is going to happen to me one day. I'm gonna meet this beautiful girl, and we're gonna get married, and we're gonna have these in-laws. We'll have snow in LA, which eventually did actually happen. And it affected me in that way. I just was so pulled in by the joy of that movie. And I know there's the Spencer Tracy original, all that kind of stuff. But absolutely love that film, and she's at the center of it.
Also, same. I have to say, I also appreciated as I got older. I was discussing this with my brother earlier today. She's part of sort of that first generation of actresses, I feel like, who were allowed to get old in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and that is something I think that is important and will continue to be important. And not just they were allowed to get old, but they were allowed to get old without like having a lot of work done. Or, you know, like they were allowed to age naturally and gracefully and still get work instead of being sort of put out to pasture and...
Or having dramatically changed the roles in which they played, and all that stuff happens and still happens. But I know exactly what you mean, and I look at others. Helen Mirren comes to mind, Meryl Streep, and even though
it's that entire generation: Goldie Hawn, Sally Field, like all of them. Jane Fonda, like
Lily Tomlin too, in that era too. Yeah, I agree with that. No, it's obviously a reality and a long life and a wonderful legacy, but it was also kind of buried under a lot of, you know, the world moves so fast, and I'm glad you wanted to pay tribute to her tonight, because she was absolutely one of my favorites.
Agreed. A talent that will be missed.
Indeed. Before we let you go, favorite MTV thing, memory, or influence?
I never watched MTV.
Okay, we're going to need to know why, and was it because of God?
I don't think it was because of God. It wasn't my thing.
Taylor Swift hadn't been invented yet, Ken.
It's true.
Music was not my thing, first of all. Like I listened to like the oldies, 60s, 70s stations. So like there wasn't a lot on MTV that appealed to me because I didn't like the music of the 90s.
How dare you?
I did equate MTV with like something bad, like naughty. I didn't know that Singled Out was a real thing. I only know it from an episode of Boy Meets World.
Oh wow! See, I've never watched that show. I know of the show, but I never watched it.
One of the characters goes on Singled Out. I thought for years it was invented for the show.
Oh well, yeah, possible. It has that kind of fake game show vibe. Franny, we're trying to have a conversation here. I know. See, I joke, but like, you know, 7th and 8th grade. I was under the rule of oppression in my house, and like I had to come home and hope I would. This was irony. I would pray to God that Paula Abdul's Cold-Hearted Snake video was running, or Prince's Cream video, because 12-year-old Ken was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I like it. So I understand, like, if part of that of your upbringing, I also too was one of those precocious kids that liked 60s and 70s music and not a lot of the modern stuff until later. So I totally get where you're coming from there. And proof that not everyone needed MTV.
Yeah, I don't know. I came home and watched like General Hospital, so
that's not wrong.
I've got nothing for you. But it wasn't my upbringing. My brother watched MTV.
Really? Okay. All right. So it's just you. It was just me. I equated it
with naughty. I don't know where I picked that
from the Bible. No, MTV, Francis.
I was raised.
You're not wrong. I
didn't have that version of the Bible.
No, but Ken is absolutely right. There was very much a mid 90s, like it was MTV was the 90s version of D&D being demonized in the evangelical community of like, no, you kids can't be watching MTV. That's for the devil.
But MTV was part of the satanic panic in my house. Absolutely. It was talked about at church amongst the parents of Madonna. Like, holy crap, Madonna. And when girls would show up to school dressed as Madonna with like the fishnet kind of things on their wrists or something, it was like those poor young 10-year-old girls were marked as harlots in our community. You know, it was like that thing. And punk rock, like, oh, did you hear some of the kids in the neighborhood are punk rockers? And it's like, no, they like the Clash. And, you know, like, what are you talking about? So MTV was part of that. Absolute part of that. And if I heard that garage door open, and my mom was coming home from picking up my sister, I had to slap that TV off. I would not be allowed to watch MTV. It was a bad influence.
And you had to make sure you changed the channel before you turned it off, because then if someone turned it on and it was, like, why did I turn the TV on? And it was on so and so. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I went through a phase where I watched a lot of General Hospital, but I think I was mostly still watching Nickelodeon. I was a young child.
A young child? What do you mean? You mean like a?
I was a naive child.
You were a Brady. Brady
didn't know MTV was a channel until tonight. We're not talking about Brady.
Brady, go
Brady
on.
Wanted to know what channel MTV was on.
14. It was channel 14 for me locally. What was it you, Steve?
33.
33? So I had to know. I'm so glad you brought that up, Steve. I had to know that I had to at least flip the channels down to at least 9. Because if my mom and dad turned on the TV and it was 15 and 13, it was like, were you watching 14?
And I just always go to 03, because 03 was what we had to have it on to change it to using like the Nintendo anyway. So I just always defaulted to 03 before we turned the TV off to make sure.
28 for Jared.
We were watching MTV.
24 for JFB. 68 for Ranger Donald. All right, Brady, do me a favor. Go to YouTube, and I want you to Google Paula Abdul, Cold Hearted. Watch that video, and then Prince Cream, and watch that video, and then report back to me, Brady, when your life has changed.
I will just say, MTV did give us one of the most iconic Taylor Swift moments when Kanye interrupted her at the VMAs.
Right, and you know, harbinger of things to come. Look at her I Love Daddy t-shirt, Steve. Isn't that just adorable? Yeah, harbinger of things to come. We should have known that. Actually.
But we all took his side.
No. I'm so glad I don't want to go on this. But there's so many, and this isn't about Kanye, but it's such the inherent sexism in our society that she was the villain. That she was the villain. It's so when you look back to those kind of eyes, once you see that stuff, it's forever there.
She
including
won Beyonce's award, Ken. She was the villain.
Well, okay. Well, that's a different kind of villain. But I'm talking about Kanye and Taylor, which I know was about the award, but which might have other, look, a young white woman winning the award. Okay, Steve, now you're taking this into another direction. You're undercutting my point. Right, Freddie? All right. Brady, I scared Brady off. Oh, he heard his name. All right. Brady, go to YouTube and watch Paula Abdul's Cold Hearted video, and then go watch Prince Cream, the video, and then report back to me, okay? Okay. Can I put you down? I
had one
now?
more note on Diane Keaton, Addie, for you. So I always associate Diane Keaton with the movie Mad Money. 2008's a gem of a comedy starring Katie Holmes, Queen Latifah, and Diane Keaton. Because I took a girl to that movie, and that was the biggest example of me ever outkicking my coverage, so to speak.
Okay.
As far as taking someone on a date that was like way out of my league, that's what I always will associate Diane Keaton and Mad Money with.
I hope you get to heaven, Steve. Here's Saint Diane Keaton. Can I tell you something? I outkicked my coverage to you. What?
Thanks, Diane. That was a solid. Thanks, I appreciate that 2 hours. It was a great 2 hours for your boy.
There we go. Addie, thanks for the call. Thanks for the memories. I appreciate you putting the focus on Diane Keaton.
Of course, Ken. I will see you on Thursday.
Thursday for some tights. Oh, Freddie. Okay, Freddie. Okay. All right. Can I put you down? Okay, there you go. Let's try this. She's hungry. She wants munch. Okay. Let's do a little bit of Blathering Sports, the Blathering Sports Desk. Here's what I know. I really haven't clicked on the story, Steve. Former New York Jets butt fumble quarterback, but great college quarterback, Mark Sanchez. And not that he didn't have some success in the NFL, let's be clear. NFL commentator. He's in Indianapolis, orders some food from a DoorDash guy. A confrontation happens. The DoorDash guy, 69-year-old male, feels like Mark Sanchez is going to hurt him, pulls out a knife and stabs him in the heart.
Those are great cliff notes. I've got some reporting here that I did for you as your producer. By the way, you mentioned earlier your Patreon has an executive producer level. If someone signs up for the executive producer level, is that like superseding me? Does that
yes.
It is? Okay.
You're fired.
I was trying to make sure I know where I am in the pecking order of things.
You're fired. Absolutely.
So I have some notes here.
It's my secret plan to get rid of
you. I knew there was it was a Sith all along. Mm-hmm. So I have some notes here. So this is Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez, like you said, noted famed Jets quarterback and star of Tattoo on Rex Ryan, who actually his wife is wearing a Mark Sanchez tattoo or a jersey in his tattoo. Anyway, on October 4th, Sanchez got into a dispute outside a hotel in Indianapolis with a 69-year-old man who was a truck driver. According to police and court documents, Sanchez allegedly entered the man's vehicle without permission, physically confronted him, and the man then responded with pepper spray and stabbed Sanchez in self-defense. Sanchez was seriously injured, and he had stab wounds to his torso, and he was hospitalized as a result. Sanchez was the one charged with battery, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. And then that was upgraded to a felony battery charge later on, because he was apparently doing so much that the dude had to stab him in self-defense. Sanchez is pleading not guilty to the charges. And since then, the man has filed a civil suit as well against Sanchez. And Sanchez's ex came out and basically was like, yeah, par for the course.
That's interesting because a lot of the reporting was, first of all, it is when the story first broke. Also, it was first treated as poor Mark Sanchez was just whistling down the street and then was stabbed. Right, that just kind of was like
accosted.
Kick it down the cobblestones high. Oh, like that's how it was painted, and we didn't know all the information. Then it comes out he's maybe attacked the guy. Clearly, you're thinking got to be some sort of stimulant.
It was a parking dispute. Is something kind of how it started. Some kind of
a parking dispute. Okay, so it wasn't. He didn't order food. Did that part wrong?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a food delivery or something. There were cars involved, and so I didn't see anything about ordering food, but I don't. That wasn't in the small.
Ranger Donald says he was also apparently doing wind sprints in the alley, which is what I do. Which is what I did after the buzzballs. So all right, so it's weird. Yeah, but there was a lot of how could this happen, which I understand from a distance, but for an ex to be like, oh yeah, that's the Mark I know. That's kind of all I need to hear.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not happy he got stabbed, by the way, but just like,
the mother of his children comes out and says, yeah, though that's, can't say I'm surprised or anything like that. Is what she says something about, what was it? Her quote was saying she was not surprised by his behavior and expressing concern for their son, understandably.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Well then, yeah, good riddance, man. I hope he doesn't get back on TV, and I hope he cleans up. I hope he cleans up his life.
I would be shocked if he's on TV in 3 weeks, Ken. Fox, this is Fox. They employ Urban Meyer on every Saturday for their college game day thing. Like they don't have look at their roster of jocks that they have.
Brady. If you don't know the Urban Meyer stuff, just go to YouTube, Google Prince Cream video, and watch it. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what to make of it.
He kicked his kicker. What the hell's wrong with you?
Anyway. Anyways, I hope Mark Sanchez recovers, and I hope he gets the help he needs, and I hope the 69-year-old truck driver is okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Poor Brady. Poor Brady's like, I'm just studying to better myself, and you absolute fucking jobless twit is just making fun of me on your show. Yeah.
Right.
Rob Max right. Chad Paddington. former Miami Dolphin quarterback who never saw the DoorDash driver. And Rob, and I love the dog in your picture too as well. I think you're absolutely right.
Why is that so funny?
It's funny. You know, it's funny.
Can you imagine Chad Pennington just like punching?
It's funny. You know, it's funny because Chad Pennington didn't get the respect he did. He was a good NFL quarterback. I enjoyed his year or two with the Dolphins. He had one big year.
Well, and then he had. Well, yeah, I was to say because I mostly associate him with the Jets, but he had a couple of. He was the. You know, he was like the average quarterback of his time. He was kind of the line, right? Like, you know how they say we have like the Andy Dalton line. That's not really the thing anymore. But for a while there, it was like, I wonder what that line is now.
I don't know the NFL quarterbacks as much as I used to. Kirk Cousins.
I know. Cousins was that maybe a couple years ago. I think now like Geno Smith was that, but he's even kind of losing hold of it now. You know what I mean?
The fact that they might try to get Russell Wilson to quarterback the Raiders.
That's not looking good. I don't know. That's a good question. Who is kind of that line? Like Mac Jones is doing pretty good. Brock Purdy's a little probably above the line. I don't know.
Joe Flacco,
like Chad Pennington was the dude. Now Flacco's too old to be on the line.
Yeah, Flacco's like his own kind of thing. He's like when Steve DeBerg was still running around. Though Flacco's I think older than DeBerg.
Testaverde longer than he needed to.
DeBerg was like when I started getting into football, DeBerg's glory days were over by like 10 years. You know, he early 80s 49er kind of stuff. And then he's like backing up for the Dolphins. He replaced Marino when the Marino injury happened and was like, this grandpa, and he's like 37, is on the field. Flacco's kind of like that to me. He's like, if you're just getting into football now and you're 12, you're like, my dad's playing football? We did NFL picks. We'll do the big ones on Thursday, but 2 and
3.
2 and 3, 16-14 overall. Very happy with my Steelers, Bucks. Lazy Bolt brings up who's the Charlie Batch of 2025.
So the Charlie Batch, for folks who don't know, longtime backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was the reliable dude. Like if Big Ben, or at the time, I think, was he even there for the Maddox years? He might have been.
Yes, I think he was.
If your quarterback went down, Charlie, and if he had to play 4 games, Charlie Batch was winning 2 of those games. It didn't matter if they were playing Peyton Manning and the Colts and Tom Brady and the Patriots. He was going to win 2 of those 4 games for you no matter what. Charlie Batch was just the line of consistency. I think now, like Nick Foles was that for a little while there until he won the Super Bowl and kind of was just a great backup. His powers were only activated when he was a backup. That was the thing with Foles. Colt McCoy was that for a little while, for a few years there. Colt McCoy was kind of like a super sub as a backup. But, you know, Flacco's kind of getting passed around as that right now. But, yeah, that's a great question.
You want to take a hit of Flacco? Yeah, I do.
The whole AFC North has.
I do love that. Is a great sports talk. Yeah, Fitzmagic. That is a great sports talk radio topic of like the kind of like the best backup quarterbacks, and not like the Steve Youngs who went on to be right. And you kind of knew that you knew Steve Young was kind of the quarterback in waiting.
Yeah, Jordan Love was quarterback in waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking to like the Charlie Batches and everything, but like Damon Heward, former Dolphin quarterback. Also, was it Ray Lucas? Was that guy? Was that his name?
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Mid 2000s. He was around the Pennington time too. The Dolphins, I think, had him at 1.2, and he was one of those guys, kind of like his Tyler Snoop Huntley now.
Okay, yeah.
We're like, he's gonna get 1 or 2 starts every couple of years, and you kind of like him. And Frank Reich is the ultimate example to me as like the super backup.
Right. That's a good. Teddy Bridgewater has been that for a little while in the modern NFL. He's been a bit of a journeyman backup that you could, but yeah, no, Charlie Batch they don't make him like Charlie Batch anymore. They just don't.
I agree with that.
You don't have a guy who just sits on the bench and is cool, just sitting on the bench for 10 years and just like, yeah, man, when you call my name, I'm out, I'm ready, I'll be there. But I'm just gonna, I have no interest in going. Matt Flynn was a really good backup in Green Bay for Favre or Rodgers for a little bit. Stole a bunch of money from Seattle to do absolutely nothing. He was like the antithesis of that. Like he tried to become something that he wasn't.
And this reminds me of the conversations Francis, stop it. This is the conversations we had on the afternoons of backup quarterbacks with Mojito, our turf toe medicine that we created. But I love the quarterbacks that have a little bit of youth to them. They're backups, and they have that one big year, that one big game, and they get the big contract, and they're never. Dolphins fell for Jay Fiedler. Right. Fiedler, I think it was the one that led us to the only playoff victory we've had in 30 years. But it was just like, oh, he beat us 62-7. Grab him, and then he's nothing. I love that. It's kind of
Matt
fun.
Castle did that to the Chiefs. The year Tom Brady tore his ACL, he got a sack of money from the Chiefs because he won a bunch of games with Brady's boys. That's a great gig, by the way. Backup quarterback. I mean, you don't get hit in practice. You wear a red jersey. Get paid a bunch of money.
Francis, seriously. Now you got to stop. Derek Anderson, JMB says Dolphins fell for Scott Mitchell. We didn't fall for Scott Mitchell. The Lions fell for Scott Mitchell. The Lions fell for that 19 wearing lefty who I thought was going to be. I think I told you that story. Did I tell you that story? Francis, please, for the love of God.
When your Dolphins had a lot of. Yeah, but go ahead.
When Dan Marino went down with his Achilles, this is like my senior year of high school. I think the fall of my senior year. I had a big giant. It was a black T-shirt with a from neck to navel picture of Dan Marino on it. Like it was pretty. It was detailed art. It was like him in his helmet with the 3 bars, that Dan face, just saying, "I fucking nailed the commercial." I love that clip going around, by the way. And I took duct tape, and on the top of the shirt, I wrote, "Long live Marino, in Mitchell we trust." And I walked around in public with that. And just like trying to like, it's okay. People are like, "What are you talking about, you weirdo?" And so I fell for Scott Mitchell in that moment, JB, but the Lions fell for him overall. But JB, Finns had Mitchell, but they drafted him.
Right.
And then he came in, and then it was like Marino's still playing, so the Lions were like, "We'll give him money," and that's what happened. Love it.
I was looking really quickly to see if I could find your giant Dan Marino face T-shirt. Well, wait, is he holding a football?
Not the picture I remember.
Is it just him in a helmet?
It's just him in a helmet. It's like Diamond King art.
Hold on. I think I might have found it. I might have found it. Hold on.
I want to order this shirt. Can we buy it?
Hold on. Yeah. It's out of the one I'm looking at. This is 1992.
Yes, that's absolutely when I had this shirt.
Hold on.
I would wear it with Zubaz pants.
I so hope this is it, Ken. Here we go. Ready?
Yep. That's the shirt.
Yes.
That's the goddamn shirt.
Yes.
I want that shirt. That's exactly the goddamn shirt I had. Imagine 17-year-old Kenny Napzok run around his high school with that and Zubaz pants on, Steve.
That is amazing.
I want that shirt. Please tell me how I can get that shirt.
We did it.
Oh, dear God. Send me the link.
We're going to find this. This is my Christmas present to you.
Imagine on the top of that, written in my bad handwriting, "Long live Marino, in Mitchell we trust."
It's out of stock, but from this website, but we're going to find it. Now that we know what it is, we've got.
Oh, dear God.
This is just the crumb I need.
I want to wear that on a comedy stage. This is the greatest moment in the world. We got to start getting out of here, but because Franny wants her dinner, a little bit of baseball talk. I think we got 4 great teams in the League Championship Series. Dear God, you cannot tell me that Major League Baseball wants a Seattle or Milwaukee series.
No, please, God, please give me Brewers Mariners. I want to see the Mariners in it for sure. But
I grew up a Mariners fan. I was a Yankees fan. I like the Royals, like the Expos. I also like the Mariners because I went and saw them play. I was up there in the Kingdom in 89, 90. So a little obsessed with them. And Griffey, I'm a Griffey Jr. fan. So I have no problem because they've never been. Right. So I'm rooting for them. I am rooting for Toronto as well. I think it would be hilarious that if in 2025 the Toronto Blue Jays of Canada were to win the baseball championship. And then I don't want any sports team going to the White House, but then the false prophet has to invite the Canadian baseball team to the White House.
They won't do it. They'll fight. They'll make some stupid excuse where not enough of them will want to go and all that kind of stuff.
I don't want to root against the city of Milwaukee. Don't want to root against the Brewers. It's been a while since they've been to the World Series. 82? Harvey's Wallbangers era. But it's got to be the Dodgers. No one's watching this. If
it's not the
no one's watching it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right if that's the case. I mean, I'm a Reds fan, so I have no love for the Brewers. But I have a buddy who's a big Brewers fan, so I'm hoping that I want him to be happy. So it is, there you go. My Reds have sucked for 30 years, so it's hard for me to have any kind of hate that way. But what do you
sucks when your team sucks for decades. Trust me.
It's okay.
That's a look at sports. We're almost out of here today. Did we get it all on the table? Yeah, we did. Franny wants her munch.
Franny seems to think so.
Franny wants her munch. Do you want your munch? Do you want munch? Yeah, okay. Hey, everybody, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Check out the Monday Morning Show. Check out the Blathering Mailbag on Wednesday. Become a Patreon supporter. I want to do this more. I want to do this daily. Let's do this. No matter where I end up, my life is in transition. I could stay here. Who knows? I'm trying to be open and hopeful for things to come. But the blathering will not go away, even if I'm doing it in my goddamn car from my phone. So support and help us grow. Thank you to Mandalorian Jetty for a super chat tonight. Steve, good to have you back, buddy. I hope it can continue.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me back. Happy to be here. Missed you guys. Look forward to more backstage stuff soon.
Absolutely. Oh, I ordered the new graphics. I got the new graphics on the way. Blathering Gaming comes to life very soon. So get in on that, folks. Always fun. Thank you for the calls tonight. Happy birthday again to our buddy Brennan Mystical Mar. You guys are great. We'll do it again. Bye.